So, average Americans like the one, the only Dylan Bond and myself, they might not have been affected by the hot temperatures and the drought of 2012, but it impacts us going forward a little bit more than we think. Dylan, thanks for joining us. You're a registered investment advisor representative, a licensed insurance professional, and you're the owner of Bond Financial Services, and you're going to give us the skinny on corn today.
Absolutely.
So corn prices are up.
Right.
And it's affecting our barbecues, first of all. So let's talk about why the rising prices of corn are just affecting us in general.
Yeah, well, as far as the barbecue goes,
yeah,
only about 12% of corn consumption in the United States is food related or for human consumption. The rest goes for gas, ethanol, and livestock feed. So that's where we're seeing a big impact on the drought. 63% of the country was affected by this drought, and corn was hit the hardest.
And people think corn, it's just something that you eat at a barbecue, but it really affects so much more. So let's just start by talking about its ethanol effect, because as we know, you go to the gas station
right,
and it says, hey, made with 10% ethanol.
I was there yesterday, and as I was staring at the $4 gas prices, I noticed on the pump itself there was a sticker that said 10% ethanol. Mm-hmm. And clearly there's got to be a tie there. I mean, with what's going on in the corn with corn this year and the drop in production, and gas prices spiking like they are, there's got to be some tie there. The exact tie we don't know for sure, mm-hmm, but I feel there's got to be.
And it also, corn affects our meat prices too, because cows and a lot of animals, chickens, for example, they all eat corn too, and if there's less of that, it's a domino effect.
Right. Well, what's happening with farmers, they're having to slaughter more of their livestock, mm-hmm, because they don't have the corn or can't afford the corn to feed them. So in the short term, we're going to see lower meat prices, mm-hmm, but what the USDA is telling us is going into 2013, food prices should rise about 3 to 4%, and we're going to see an impact not only in beef but poultry, dairy products, as well as the corn itself.
The corn and vegetables, right, and everything. And the funny part about that is, so the USDA is predicting a 3 to 4% hike. But what's unfortunate about that is I don't know if my salary is going up 3 to 4%. I don't know if yours is.
Well, we always talk about inflation, mm-hmm, and how when you're making your financial plan, especially in retirement, when you're on a fixed income and expect to live 30 years without a paycheck,
yeah,
if you're not keeping an eye on inflation and what you're doing to keep pace with that, you might be at a point somewhere in the future where you will run out of money. And that's what nobody wants that.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, our government, when they give us our inflation numbers, which average about 3% a year, they don't include food, they don't include fuel, and they don't include medical costs. I don't know about you, but I use food.
Exactly. Yeah.
I use fuel, mm-hmm, and I use medical costs.
Yeah.
Okay. So why they're not included in our number is beyond recognition.
And it's so tough for, families these days because they're coping with those food prices, and there's all these hidden expenses that we don't see too. For example, 10 years ago, we weren't paying $30 a month, for example, for our wireless bills for our cell phones.
Right, right.
So there's so many things that we don't think of that we need to be thinking of. But that's why it's important to make an income plan, and that's why it's important for people to talk to someone like you.
Yeah, and one thing what we're trying to focus on now is trying to get some type of exposure to commodities for an inflation hedge going forward. We need to build a plan that's going to provide income. People don't realize if you retire at 60 to 65 years old, mm-hmm, you're going to have to finance a retirement unless you feel you can live on Social Security alone.
Which,
for 30 to 35 years or more.
And let's not even get into Social Security because we won't even know if it's going to be there.
Well, hopefully it will.
Yes.
But there's a lot of things to consider, and that's why we love what we do. We help everybody we can create a plan that's going to make sense to them, that they can easily understand, and that we can meet with year after year after year to make sure it's working the way we think it will. And if there's any major changes, we can make those changes as we go.
And you always do those year-end checkups, which are so important. Sometimes you even do twice-a-year checkups,
Sure.
just to make sure, because everything changes. Social Security benefits change, everything changes, so
Yeah.
it's important to stay ahead of it.
I'm a big believer in annual reviews as a minimum. Most people I meet with, one of the #1 complaints they have about their current advisors is that they don't meet with them on a year-to-year basis, face-to-face.
Well, because sometimes with those big companies, you might just be a number.
You might be.
And so it's important that people can get in touch with you, and it must be nice when you know, your job every day, you help people realize things that they didn't know they had. Maybe, unfortunately, they don't have as much as they thought they did, or they realized there was an account that they could be getting more out of. So you can help create people's retirements.
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep things simple. That was a great idea someone gave me a long time ago.
Keep it simple.
And if you just think of all of your money and all of your planning as a big bucket, and understand that there's a lot of leaks coming out of your bucket in the way of fees, taxes, inflation, and the #1 thing is to identify all those leaks, explain them to people so they understand what is leaking out of their bucket, and then show them ways that they might be able to patch some of those holes so that their bucket will stay full for a longer period of time, and they'll have a better chance of not outliving their money.
Exactly, because let's be honest, you know, we work real hard our whole lives so that we can enjoy our retirement, but it's no fun if you don't have any money for it.
Well, Seth, I know we work real hard. I'm not sure about you.
Oh, Dylan, if you only knew. But hey, despite that, thanks for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you
very
here.
welcome.
Every Wednesday, Dylan Bond. And you can visit bondfinancialservices.net, or you can give him a call, 413-754-4747. Just let Dylan and his staff take the steps to secure your financial future.